Good morning, friends. Happy Friday. We get a 4-day weekend. At least I get a 4-day weekend since today's a day off for me, and I love that. That means I get a little extra rest or playtime, however you want to call it. So this morning I'm going to be playing with the new paper pumpkin, and it's called The Best There Is. And it's a great paper pumpkin for the men in your life. I've got plenty of guys I need to be sending great cards to. And the best part about it is it coordinates with a really beautiful Country Woods Designer Series paper. The Country Woods is the one that has all the rough, distressed painted panels and also the wood on the opposite side. So it's a great kit, and it also coordinates with the Thinks and Beyond dies that were an add-on for Paper Pumpkin. So let's start playing with that. So you can see that, we use the butterflies for one of my scrapbook pages, but the Thanks die cuts out this perfect little thanks, and I use the wood. And then this, I don't know the shape, but anyway, it has some great stitching along the edge. So it's a great collection of stamp or dies that you can coordinate with the kits. And we have one more that this coordinates with. So the one that is for this coming month, and it's got the citrus. Okay. So Paper Pumpkin, as you know, comes all inclusive. And with your first kit, you get a block. You don't get it with every block. I mean, with every kit, but you get it with your first one. So when you sign up, you've got to save this. And then you get a Stampin' Spot and a set of stamps. And I'll show you what the verses are here in just a minute. Okay, so I've already gotten into this because, of course, I had to figure out what I was going to do for my scrapbooking. But aren't these cards great? You've got Happy Father's Day, and you've got You're the Best There Is. So you can put Happy Father's Day on the inside. And then with love and admiration to the most amazing person. Again, that can be a great sentiment for Father's Day. But I'm going to use this and this for a card to those that I know served in the military, and just as a celebration of what they gave. And so anyway, that's what some of the things I'm going to be doing. Okay, so with this kit you get a so this right here coordinates with the stamp sets, and I've already started using them. But it's Happy Father's Day, You're the Best There Is, and with love and admiration to the most amazing person. So usually you can just pair this up and it'll help you know what you've got. But I'll usually put this in my little bag and save it for identifying what's in there, so when I need to reuse them. Okay. So in this kit are you've got, looks like big glue dots. You've got dimensionals, this really beautiful wood grain. These are all the same envelopes, but look at that wood grain. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, so that's the envelopes. And then you have 3 of these cards. I've already taken out 1. 3 of these. And again, I love that they're doing front and back. That means if you want to use this more, cut it in half, and you've got 2 great card fronts out of 1 card, and you can just add it to basic white. And then of course there's these as well. So these just are a perfect match to the Designer Series paper. And then you've got some panels that go on the fronts of cards, and I love this wood grain right here. This is just great. Okay, so I probably should start sorting this out. So I've got this card, and this card. And then this panel goes with this one. This panel goes with this one. And you've got these great stamped images, and it matches the stamp set. So it's actually the same image. So I'm going to pull this off and put it on one of my blocks because I know I'm going to be using it. I think it'd be a great ad for the envelope. And then these go with this panel. And then you've got these really pretty little leaves. And these ones go with this panel. And just want to be careful not to rip any of these apart. And I'm doing 2 at a time, which probably isn't wise, but that goes with that. And that. Okay. So, and then we had, oh, these fell out already. These go with this one. And then we've got our sentiment tags. So, not sure if you could see that. And they've got the great little dotted lines, kind of like the die. Okay. So, I have more of them as well that I started using. Okay. So, let's start with this card. And then they've got these great color directions, so it should be pretty easy. Now this is going to be a tough one, but I'm going to go ahead and leave this first card the way it's supposed to be. But you can also fold it where you fold it back and use it like a fun Z fold. See what I'm doing here? So I would score this here, and then, in fact, I think I might do that because that's just, I think it's really beautiful. So let me score it. And because it's 2 1/4 or 4 1/4, I'm going to use 2 1/8 for my score line. Because this great panel can actually be glued to this, and then you can add a piece of white designer series or white cardstock on the inside. Okay, so let me raise this, get it so that it's not sticking up quite so much. And then this just gets glued on here, so they want us to use dimensionals. So I want to be careful that I'm adding dimensionals, so I want dimensionals on this side. And then to make sure that I don't get them in the wrong place, I'm just going to add 2 of them on here, and that way I don't get them over too far and they stick to the inside of my card. Hopefully that makes sense. So you can see these 2 here, and then I'm going to center this on the card front, or what looks like the card front, and then I can add a piece of white cardstock in here. In fact, I have some of these that I've cut, and I think that's plenty of room to put a message. I think the Happy Father's Day would, oops, not quite. So let's put it this way. There we go. I think that works. All right, so rather than using my little Stampin' Spot, because I like to give those to my beginner stampers, I'm going to go ahead and stamp on this. That looks great. And then I need to put "You're the best there is." Which is right here. Get this lined up where I want it. And then line up my block. Okay, that looks great. Okay. I think I had another one that needed to be cleaned. Yep. So this is Misty Moonlight. And it was one of the in colors for a while, but they brought it back as a regular color. So I love that. Okay. Let's put these aside and bring the card back. All right. So this gets a couple of dimensionals, or sorry, glue dots. And then this gets a couple of dimensionals. And whoops, I put the glue dots on the wrong side. Okay, so this goes, and you want to make sure it doesn't go over the top of your card. And then I can add this, and I want to line it up with the top of the card as well. All right. And then I can glue this on the inside. It doesn't show because of this. Great card, don't you think? I love it. All right, and I just love this. It looks like a burnt panel. Just really great. I love it. Okay, and then we have these really beautiful envelopes that it go with. So let's put some trees on the envelope. Excuse me, I have a little bit of a runny nose today. All right, so now we've got the tree stamp. And what I like to do whenever I have a tree that's beautiful like this, I'm going to stamp it once, and then I'm going to stamp it off, which means I'm going to stamp again with whatever ink is remaining. You can breathe on it to get a little bit more to show up. And it just looks like the trees are going off into the distance. Isn't that pretty? So it's a great look. All right. So there's our first card. Bring this down a little bit so you can see it. Okay, so now let's do this card. And this is another one that could be a Z card as well. because you've got another panel on the front that covers up whatever you want it to be. So let's go ahead and just make it normal, but gives you lots of options. So you can apply that Z panel anytime you want, or you can cut them in half and use both pieces. Okay, so this one just gets glue dots on the back of it. These are big glue dots, and I like the size way better than the little itty bitty ones. Sometimes those are a bit hard to work with. I'm just going to put a couple of extra in the middle. And if your fingernails don't work like this, the pick a tool works just great. Lifts them up. And you can also use them to apply. So same thing. Use it to apply the little mini glue dots as well. So the pick a tool has a bunch of ends to it. So okay, so this is a sideways card. And this gets dimensionals. This is that same tree design as the stamp. But it's in, looks like early espresso. So this goes here. And then we've got, you know what they did is they took their, that's cool that they've done that. This is the first time I've seen them actually show a technique. So you take your stamp pad, sorry about that. Looks like I lost the internet for a minute and it went away. So hopefully we're still going strong. Okay. All right, so this one actually needs glue dots. And I'm just going to add them along the bottom. Okay, great card. That's it. That's all there is to that one. Oops, we're going to put some trees on this. I love that. All right, just so you can see that. Isn't that pretty? All right, so that one's done. Now we can work on the last one. So I think this is so pretty. It looks like a bleach, and it had a stamp of some sort. So it's a technique that they did to create this look, and then of course they take photographs of it. But it looks like they stamped in bleach, and that's what happens. So it's beautiful. Okay, so for this one, okay, so we get a couple of glue dots each to both of these. And this time I'm putting the glue dots on the white side instead of the colored side. Okay. And then it looks like this one goes first. And then this one goes second, but I'm going to change things up just a smidge. And I'm going to make these go like so. And then I have my sentiments. Okay, and so this one is that really great sentiment. Love and admiration. So this is the B block. So I'm using a different block than just the large D size. Isn't that great? So this will make a great card for my sweet friend that was in the military. I want to be able to celebrate her and her efforts, and she's had a rough time recently with the health of a family member. So, okay, so we're going to use some dimensionals on the back of this. So hopefully you've got something fun planned for this weekend. I know it's barbecue weather, but I'm not sure we're going to have some rain. I had rain today, and that's why I've got the curly hair. Might as well not fight the weather, and my hair gets so frizzy if I don't just let it be curly. So, what a great card. I love this. And it really doesn't need to, any sort of embellishments, because it's such a beautiful card on its own. Okay, so let's stamp the tree one more time on the envelope. And I love that there's 3 different cards on this. Fabulous, fabulous. Okay, so that was the last card. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the scrapbook layout that I'm doing with this. Okay, so what I have here, and hopefully you can see it all, and this is just some of the designer series paper I used as a base. And then if you look at the bottom here, you'll notice that I stamped the trees twice each. So let me just push it up here a little bit so you can see. So I've got one layer of the trees, and then I stamped off each time as well, just to get it to look like a really great grove of trees. And so it just ended up looking really good. And then I love this card, and so I cut it in half. And of course, this is the designer series paper behind here. I hate covering up all the trees, and that one's designer series paper. And this is 1/2 of one of those cards that I cut in half. And so I'm just going to put this here, and then I'm going to leave this here to journal a little bit about this man. So this is my husband and I over the years. He is a hat man, and he loves his cowboy hats. So I thought it was a great way to just kind of celebrate him, and also all of his hats, because I've got all these pictures of him and his hats, and I just think it's funny. Okay, so this is the other one. And what I did is I had some scraps. I tore it. And when you tear it, you want to tear it towards you, and then you get this really nice white band. And it just kind of adds a little bit of a rough look to your layout. But see, this is the other half of that card. And this is more of the designer series paper. And then this is the other half of that card. So the only card I didn't use was this tan card, because I felt like it was just too much of a close match to this. And this paper, so I'm going to take this off so you can watch me do the stamping. This paper is the designer series paper, and you can see the back. So this was a hard thing for me to give up, because I absolutely love, 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 love this color and that distressed paint. But this is for a good cause. So, okay. So I've got my tree, and I'm going to use Early Espresso instead of the Misty Moonlight. And so I'm just going to be stamping this tree, and then I come back in and I stamp it again. So it just has this really great look. Okay. And I'm just keeping the base of the trees right at the bottom of the cardstock. And I'm overlapping the stamped off trees. So reminds me a little bit of the almond orchards that I used to drive by in Central California back in the day, all precise in their rows. This last one is just going to have a little tree right here. Okay. So that's the background. Not thinking I'm going to do anything else with that. And because my pictures were so large, they were the Costco. I ordered them a number of years ago when Costco still did photos. And they were 4x6. So, okay, so for this one, I'm going to use some tear and tape. My tear and tape is somewhere. Here we go. And I'm going to do a strip along here to glue these two together, and I'm going to keep this over as far as I can. And then I'm just going to overlap it on here. Try to keep it straight if I can. I probably should. And then I can just glue the whole thing down or put tear and tape. And when I'm doing scrapbooking, I'm just not sure about the archival properties of the glue. The tear and tape I know won't hurt my photos. And when they're in a pocket, chemicals kind of simmer in those plastic pockets. So I want to make sure that there's no chance of it ruining photos. Okay, so start at this corner, come all the way down. All right, so now I can go back and place these. Let's see, I think this is supposed to go down here. And then so this is the card. This is the card panel front. Okay. And I have somebody trying to call me. I should have put do not disturb on there, and I did not. But it's too late. Okay. All right, so let's just place these, make sure they're all kind of in the right place. So this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I cut these at 4 1/4 and 5 1/2 as well. All right, so I'm going to start on this left side to make sure that I've got them where I want them. So I think I'm going to try to. So when you have something that is a continuous page, what I like to do is to make it so that they coordinate. And I'm just not sure how far I want. I think I'm just going to do like 1/4, and I'm just going to pull them up as far as I can. Okay. So I'm just using diagonal tear and tape. I know that doesn't seem like it's going to hold it down, but remember this is going to be inside of a plastic sleeve. So Stampin' Up! Now that they have Close to My Heart people, I have a feeling that they're going to start carrying 12 by 12 scrapbooking supplies, which means a larger book, plastic sleeves, and that sort of thing. So I think they're working on that right now. And I am going to wait until I have one of their books before I start. Okay, so which ones did I have here? I think it was this one. Let's just finish the bases. And that way I'm not placing them and placing them and placing them. But anyway, Stampin' Up! Used to sell sleeves, and they used to sell really beautiful scrapbook binders as well that matched their designer series paper. It was all well coordinated and, you know, really great. And maybe one of these days I'll drag one of those out and get it out for you so you can see some of the stuff that they used to sell. So I know they'll do a great job again, because that's one of the things I love about them is they're so good at coordinating. Okay, so you can see it's just a great layout, just, you know, a grid, nothing fancy. And this goes there, this one goes here. And I'm just going to leave this the way it is because I think it's great. And I'll just adhere my photos. And then this I'm going to pop up. Because there's, you know, definitely when you're doing a scrapbook, you can pop up whatever you want as long as you don't make it too thick. Makes it harder for you to get, you know, as many pages in, but I've got some pretty thick scrapbooks from all my efforts. And rather than putting that sentiment up there, I'm actually going to put it over here. So let's see. You'd think my husband was raised in Texas or something, but Ohio, but he just loves cowboy hats. And I think this one might even be my great-grandpa's hat that he wore probably only for church. And now I think I'm gonna pop up this part. They happen to have very similar head sizes, so that worked out. Actually, not my great-grandpa, but my grandfather on my dad's side. All right. And then this, I think I'm going to just put here. Or maybe I'll put it over here. That one there. Okay. Put that there, and then I think I'm gonna put one glue dot there and 2 dimensionals down here. All right, so this goes here. Make sure that this doesn't cover up my face. And then I think this can go on top of it. So you can see how well the kits create scrapbook pages, and I just love this. It's so beautiful. Just a really great look. And I just love using the cards as fillers because they're beautiful. They just did such a fabulous job. So, all right, well, that's all I'm going to do today. I'll put this together the rest of this way. And I'll wait for another time to do my journaling. But thank you for joining me. If you're watching this later on YouTube, feel free to like and subscribe, share with friends. And I appreciate you coming and visiting. And again, this is Angela with Wild Violets Art, and I hope you have a great Memorial Day weekend. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.